Good morning, good morning. Bix Weir, Roota.com with your morning horn of Z's. Your sip of coffee. No coffee today. I got something stuck. I'm going on a mini cleanse. No caffeine for a while. Gonna watch what I eat. Yes, I was putting on pounds during lockdown. I'm ready to get out of lockdown, so I'm gonna take the pounds off. And you will see me disappear before your eyes. And health reasons. I was getting way too big. It's hard not to get big when you're sitting at home. The next exciting thing is the next meal. I know there's a lot to do on the road to Roota, but hey, what do you do? Right now, yes, those of you who saw my Easter message last night, I'll get to that in a second. But first, total system failure will give rise to new economy. Pepe Escobar. Pepe Escobar has been spot on for a long time with his analysis of the derivative market. It's all in the derivative market, baby. The derivative market has been thoroughly ravished. Nobody's declaring who's winning or losing because everybody has lost. When you have big defaults of big counterparties, that's when the game ends. So that's where we are. That's why banks were allowed to get extra 45 days before they have to release their earnings. I mean, what does that tell you? Obviously, it won't change what happened before. Why do they get an extra 45 days? It's to keep the system going for another 45 days. COVID-19 driven collapse of global supply chains, demand, and mobility will painfully spawn the next great tech-led economic models. Nobody anywhere could have predicted that we are now witnessing, in a matter of only a few weeks, the accumulated collapse of global supply chains, aggregated demand, consumption, investment, exports, and mobility. Nobody is betting on the L-shaped recovery anymore, not to mention the V-shaped one. Any projection of global gross domestic product in 2020 gets into falling off a cliff territory. In industrialized economies where roughly 70% of the workforce is in service, countless businesses and myriad industries will fail in a rolling financial collapse that will eclipse the Great Depression. Absolutely. That's what I've been saying for 2 months now. That spans the whole spectrum of possibly 47 million U.S. workers to be laid off, with the unemployment rate skyrocketing to 32% all the way to Oxfam's warning that by the time the pandemic is over, half the world's population of 7.8 billion people could be living in poverty. It's true. Year zero is a bitch, and it's going to get worse. Especially in the United States, people are just thinking, oh, we just got to shut the door for a month or two and everything's going to be fine. No, it's not. The old world will never come back, ever. And that was my Easter message. Go check it out. And then he goes into what accelerates this stuff. Sound analysis of what could be the next economic model already popping up as background. A really serious debunking of all dying neoliberalism development myths can be seen. Yes, a new economic model should be revolving around these axes: AI computing, automated manufacturing, solar, wind, and energy, high-speed 5G-driven data transfer, and nanotechnology. Basically, the sci-fi future that Cliff had talked about. China, Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan are very well positioned for what's ahead, as well as European latitudes. COVID-19 is like a particle accelerator, consolidating tendencies that we were already developing. China had already demonstrated for the whole planet to see that the economic development under a controlled system has nothing to do with Western liberal democracy. System failure welcome, question mark. In contrast, Western banking and finance scenarios could not be gloomier. As Britain-centric analysis argues, it's not just Europe. Banks may not be strong enough to fulfill their new role as saviors in any part of the world, including the US, Japan, and China. None of the major lending systems were ever stress-tested for economic deep freeze lasting months. So the global financial system will crack under the strain, with a by now quite possible pandemic shutdown lasting more than 3 months, capable of causing economic and financial system failure. As system failures go, nothing remotely approaches the possibility of a quadrillion-dollar derivative implosion, a real nuclear issue. Capital One is number 11 on the list of the largest banks by asset. They are already in deep trouble on their derivative exposures. Absolutely, and that was the oil derivative. New York sources say Capital One made terrible bets trading via derivatives that oil would not plunge to where it is now at 17-year lows. Don't forget, there's people on the other side of that bet. Every derivative contract has a counterparty. Derivatives to the max. Wall Street totally linked to the derivatives market will feel the pressure of the collapsing American economy. The Fed bailout of Wall Street will start coming apart. Talk about a nuclear chain reaction. In a nutshell, the Fed has lost control of the money supply in the U.S. Banks now create unlimited credit from their base, and that sets up U.S. for potential hyperinflation if the money supply grows nonstop and production collapses, as it is collapsing right now because the economy is in shutdown mode. If derivatives start to implode, the only solution for all major banks in the world will be immediate nationalization, much to the ire of the goddess of the market. Deutsche Bank, also major trouble, has 7 trillion euro derivatives exposure, twice the annual GDP of Germany. No wonder New York business circles are totally afraid. They insist that if the U.S. does not immediately go back to work, and if these possibly quadrillions of dollars of derivatives start to rapidly implode, the economic crises that will unfold will create a collapse of the magnitude of which had not been witnessed in history, with incalculable consequences. Or perhaps this will be just a larger-than-life spark to start a new one. Maybe a crypto economy. The only thing I see as a problem with the crypto economy is so many bad guys on the cryptos. I don't know. We'll find out, right? Nothing's set in stone. But apparently the IRS deposits the first batch of coronavirus stimulus payments to broke Americans. Bravo, you get $1,200 and it's going to have to last you quite a while. What are they going to do to small businesses that are you can't $1,200 is going to just pay for like half month's rent or a quarter month's rent. It's insane what's happening. It's insane that they're lying to the people that we want to keep this old system going. We have to flood the system with money so we can keep the old system going. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. But that's what's happening. So expect a check in the mail if you make under $75,000 a year. Married couples under $150,000 will get $2,400 checks and $500 per child under 17. And then they're going to have to figure out the next bailout and the next bailout and the next bailout. I'm not so sure that Congress is going to do many more. We'll find out this week, though. As for silver, 100% on lockdown still, same with gold. I do have some information. I will be doing an interview later today with Andy Scheckman of Miles Franklin. There is a rumor, I'm getting verification of this, that the U.S. Mint is going to go out and purchase silver at a premium spot price. That is really interesting because how can they do that and at the same time the CFTC say there's no market manipulation? It'll be really interesting. As I said, the COMEX is going to shut down at some point, force majeure. And oh, by the way, JP Morgan's out of its short position and completely long physical and derivative contracts in silver and gold. Surprise, surprise. But they are up on RICO charges, so we'll see what happens. Let's get to coronavirus real quick. Former FDA head says China's lies over COVID-19 should be investigated. Absolutely. This was a bioweapon. All those COVIDiot deniers that this is, it's nothing. Come on, do a little, just this much research. Just that much research. Incredible. I'll get to that in 1 second. But yeah, it's starting to get out that people are saying, hey, China, you lied to us. You lied about the numbers. You lied about creating the virus. There's plenty of evidence. Cliff has laid it out. The documentary from Echo Times has laid it out. Everybody's laid it out. It should be obvious to anyone with half a brain that this was a bioweapon and is a bioweapon. And whoever made it should be put their feet to the fire. Of course, the Chinese embassy blasts hasty and reckless Western claims that virus originated in Wuhan. What? In a simply stunning piece of propaganda following a weekend of extremely high-level officials across the world, non-Chinese nation, the Chinese embassy in the UK has unleashed a statement of pure farce, proclaiming that there is no evidence that the virus originated in Wuhan, let alone China. Read on if you dare. I'll read it. Why not? Last week on the Mail on Sunday, carried an article propagating a groundless theory that the links of the origin of COVID-19 were to a lab in Wuhan. The article also discredits China's effective efforts in combating COVID-19 and promoting international cooperation. Oh my God. There has been no scientific or medical conclusion yet on the origin of COVID-19, as relative tracing still is underway. World Health Organization, which is owned by China, has made repeated statements that what the world is experiencing now is a global phenomenon. The source is undetermined. The focus should be on containment, and any stigmatizing language referring to certain places must be avoided. The name COVID-19 was chosen by the WHO for the purpose of making no connections between the virus and certain places or countries. The origin of the virus is a complicated scientific issue. It should be left to the scientists and doctors to figure out through science and research. Hasty and reckless allegations such as naming China as the origin in an attempt to shift the blame before any scientific conclusion is reached is totally irresponsible and will definitely do harm to international cooperation. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. China is ridiculous. All right, I'm going to talk about something else that's ridiculous. I have been getting absolutely slammed by trolls on my Easter message. They are all stemming from this little video put up by one of the amigos, supposedly, Jsnip4, I can't take it anymore. Bix Weir, I call you out to a professional debate over Corona. It's a professional debate over Corona. Let me give you the history of the three amigos, how it came about. Me and Cliff were working together since, I think, 2006. And he helped me a lot on the road to Roota theory, especially the Grand Canyon stuff and a lot of things. And he's been instrumental in my work. And he I guess, was reaching out to Jsnip4 and grew a relationship. So we decided when the cryptos were going, we were going to do a 3-part interview with the three amigos. Cliff was the brains of the operation. I was the finance and gold, silver kind of guy trying to make that transition. And Snippy was the entertainment. He has always been the entertainment. Watch his show. I've said it a million years. I love him for his entertainment and his treasure hunting abilities. Would I ever listen to him when I was determining whether or not something is a dangerous bioweapon or not, and how to act and how to recommend people to act if I determine that it is a bioweapon, which I have many times through Cliff's data, through many people's data, that yes, it is a bioweapon, did originate in Wuhan at the Wuhan lab, and there's interviews with great people, Snippy. But here's the problem. A professional debate over Corona means nothing. What kind of Corona? The sun Corona? Oh, the coronavirus? If you can explain to me or anybody on planet Earth your analysis of that this is not a bioweapon, it is not dangerous to people, then I'd be glad to come debate you. But as of today, I have seen zero analysis from Jsnip4 on whether or not this is a bioweapon and whether or not it is dangerous. I have seen a lot of very, very harmful advice he's given out to people to, blow it off and it's like it's nothing. This is nothing, it's just a normal flu. That took him out of the entertainment portion of the Three Amigos to a very dangerous portion for humanity, if you ask me. I have zero respect for him on this pathetic attempt to withhold his position because there's other conspiracies going on at the same time. You should not prepare yourself. You should not be taking chaga mushrooms. You should not hold back anything. You shouldn't wear a mask. You shouldn't wear gloves. If I agree to this debate, if he can prove to me scientifically that the COVID-19 virus is not a bioweapon. If it is, then everything he says is ridiculous. Because if it is a bioweapon, you are at risk and you should take precautions. And I have seen zero real information from him proving that this is not a bioweapon. So there you go, Snippy. And yes, I did ban him from trolling my Twitter and YouTube. That is why I've got 50 million people trolling now on all my YouTube channels. Why did I ban him? 2 reasons. Number one, I already went through 5 years of him trolling me about the road to Roota theory. There's no good guy, Bix. Every other video, there's no good guys. Bix, you don't know what you're talking about. There's no good guys. I was done with that. I don't want to go through another 5 years of Snippy's ridiculous trolling. And number two, when I posted the video of Cliff High getting kicked off of YouTube because of his information on the coronavirus that was real, Jsnip4 comes on my YouTube channel and says, I finally agree with YouTube when they're kicking Cliff High, kicking his COVID videos off YouTube. I finally agree with something that YouTube does. Dude, you're a jackass. And that's why I deleted him from all my social media. He's a jackass. What can I say? Something snapped in him. Maybe it's these strange energies from space. But hey, I'll debate you if you prove to me that it's not a bioweapon. All right? If it is a bioweapon and you think it's a bioweapon, you're doing a disservice to your family, your friends, and your followers. That's my take. Anyway, that's my rant. I'm just sick of it. I'm sure he'll go off on some other tangent, but I'm not following him anymore. He can't follow me. I guess he could look at my videos. He can, invent a new name and come troll on whatever channel. But that's what's going on with the Three Amigos. The entertainment section is now gone from the Three Amigos. Anyway, this is Bix, road2roota.com. If you're interested in more stuff and the Year Zero updates, go to the private road, hit subscribe today. And I just posted one yesterday called Question, What Will the World Be Like After Lockdown? Bix Weir, you guys take it easy. I will keep on keeping you informed. Talk to you later.